Well, before we get to the market opening, Prashant has hopped across to the big ball to tell us about an interesting data point. Prashant, take it away.
I mean, it's just sort of dates, nothing else. But I think the dates are also important. And, it's going to be in November to remember, no less, because you got really large events lined up over the next 10 days or so, which I think will dominate markets and what they do. There is, of course, the earnings season here, which is underway, but these are large sort of macro-ish overlays for the market to deal with. Let's actually put the data up. This is what I'm talking about. You've got the US jobs data, which comes through on the 1st of November, right? This is the last jobs data before the election. Voters will have an idea about how the US economy is doing. And of course, it's the last jobs data before the Fed decision as well. Already lots of debate about whether, the US economy is slowing as needed or it is not. I mean, some estimates say that US GDP is growing at about 3.5%, tracking 3.5% annual growth, an economy that size. So I think that's the first number. Then you get into the China NPC, National People's Congress, where the dates just came 2 days back. The firm dates came 2 days back. And there is lots of talk that they've kept these dates between 4th and 8th deliberately. The reason is US election day, which is 5th of November. Now, typically by that night, the night of 5th of November, who's actually going to be in the White House is largely clear, unless and until it's a contested election. People demand recounts and it goes into a bit of a loopy-loop. So the talk really is that depending on who comes, say, for example, if it is Trump, who we know by late evening on the 5th of November is going to be in the White House for the next 4 years, the Chinese want the flexibility in the NPC, via the NPC, to announce a much larger stimulus. Because if it is Trump in the White House, I mean, he's a tariff guy. And the country that he wants to tariff most is really China. So, they want the flexibility to be able to react to who's there in the White House on the 5th of November, sort of assuming that we know clearly who is the winner. So there is the China NPC and US election day, which actually are sort of coinciding. Then, of course, we get into the Fed decision, which is on the 7th of November. Remember, the bar for not doing anything. The first hike was a large one, 50 basis points. But after that, we've seen bond yields since that date, which have moved up about 50, 60 odd basis points. So what is the bond market saying? Is the bond market saying that, well, you don't need rate cuts at this stage? Was that the first and the deepest and the largest that we've seen? Will we get a 25 as the markets are penciling in? Those are going to be important as well. And that's the reason why this entire setup makes it, as I called it, a November to remember. Back to you.
Listening to you, Prashant, I also realized November 5 is, of course, when the US election gets done. Yeah. It's also Guy Fawkes Day, by the way, for those who know Great Britain's history. Commemoration of, that foiled plot where Guy Fawkes, who's a big character, was trying to blow up the House of Lords in the Parliament and kill King James I. I remember because I went to a British school for a bit. So, 5th of November.
November.
November 5th.